What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we're going to be doing a quick review slash first impressions of the new Labo City exclusive, which just released of this year, August of 2024, and this is the Mexico City exclusive. And coriander in this translates to cilantro, so this should be a leafy green fragrance, maybe a little bit vegetal, and not coriander, the spice per se, the seed. So coriander 39, there should be 39 notes in the, or 39 ingredients in this fragrance, along with coriander slash cilantro being the prominent note in this fragrance. Now, a little heads up, this little 1.5 ml sample is cost me $13 USD plus tax, so with tax $14 for a 1.5 ml. A little bit steep on the price, but the new what is it called, these new little sample vials actually spray pretty nice compared to what they used to be. They did a little redesign maybe a year ago or two to have these new sprayers, but cannot get it to stand there. There you go. So that's the spray there, and they used to come in this small dabber, and this is from, or this is Oud 27, if that can focus. So they used to come in this little dabber, so big upgrade, but you know, the price should not be that much, but it is what it is. We're able to sample it, and it does spray pretty nice. Also, compared to this Roja sprayer, it gets clogged up a little bit. It looks similar, but, or even I think I have a Dries Van Noten, and I think this one's a Chanel on the left side. So Chanel, Dries Van Noten, all companies pretty much do the same type of spray, but for some reason this one comes out pretty nice. Let me see if I can get it on camera and we'll get this review started. So I'll let this focus, and here we go. So pretty big mist. It feels like you are actually spraying from a full-size bottle, and immediately you get hit with this green note. Big lime up top. I do not get any cilantro at all, which is a shame. I was expecting a ozonic cilantro, you know, when you go to the supermarket and there's just, they're kind of just sitting there and then they're just getting misted and misted. Or even a chopped up cilantro would have been a nice touch, but to me the top is just very lime heavy, very aldehydic, and very powdery. Very pleasant to the nose. This is a likable fragrance. Before we continue to the review, let me just read a little blurb of what they have on their website. So it says, cilantro, the most controversial of all herbs. Some of us can wax poetic about those lacy leaves, and some of us fervently disagree. Need we say more? And then it says, with the first spritz, a zing of spicy lime and aldehydic cilantro leaves, coriander in French, set the stage for quieter, crisp, watery notes to peek through. Fresh, green florals enter, then stick around for an intoxicating, musky dry down. It's a sensory experience that testers between tranquil and vibrant. Think forest bathing in El Bosque de Chapultepec, a piece enriched by call and repeat birdsong, or sipping mezcal in the shade at a humming cafe in La Condesa. So that's the picture they're trying to portray to you, just walking through a park, or just, you know, sipping mezcal. So to me, I kind of see where they're going with the boozy notes, but this isn't a boozy fragrance in my opinion. That lime, you know, does bring this nice refreshing note, but does not go into mixed drink territory for me. If you want to be, maybe it's a ranch water, mezcal, sparkling water and lime, you may get that note here and there, but not so much. And if it is there, it's very short-lived, maybe like 20-30 minutes before that very prominent lime note disappears. So I tried this yesterday at the Labo store here in town in Austin. I walked in, I sprayed it, and I kept smelling the card, and I'm just staring, and I'm staring and smelling, and I couldn't put it down what I was, what kind of thoughts I was going to put in my head, but then it clicked to me. And this is to me at least, and some people might agree online too, and this is before I even looked online to see if anyone thought the same, but to me, this is a combination of Thai matcha from Labo as well. So Thai matcha is very prominent in here. It feels like a flanker of that, and my mind kept going back to that like throughout the whole wear, and I was just kind of confused. I'm like, am I smelling the right fragrance? Like, this does not smell like cilantro at all. I don't know what's going on. So I just kept going back and forth, smelling it on the blotter, the dry down blotter, and then back on my skin. But I felt like I was being pranked. I was smelling Thai matcha, and I told the associate there, he asked me, he's like, what do you think? And I was like, I don't know. I was like, it feels like Thai matcha. And he's like, you think so? I keep hearing that. And it does smell to me like that. But then the more I smelled it, this also had a little bit of another fragrance, and then another fragrance popped into my head after that. So the citrus note here is borrowed, and I want to say borrowed in quotes, borrowed from Citron, the Soul City exclusive from, I think, 3 years ago at this point, or maybe 2. But that Citron note is very prominent in here for the first hour, and I feel like it's just kind of borrowed. And then the third fragrance that I find its DNA here is Lavande. So the new Lavande that came out maybe a year ago is also in this fragrance. So to put it short, Coriandre is a pleasant fragrance. I like it. I have it on my skin right now, and it's nice. But that's just it. It's nice. It's not original. It is not groundbreaking by any means. To me, I feel like they missed the mark on what the blurb said, or even, just trying to experiment. Le Labo does have some polarizing fragrances. This is not one of them. This is meant to be liked, meant to be, sold in the masses. And to me, it's just not worth it. Not even at retail, or maybe at their original level price, but definitely not city exclusive price. This is not worth it. If you are interested in this DNA, there's plenty of other fragrances out there that will do the same for you. Honestly, even going with Thai matcha or Lavande, but I think Lavande is in the regular line as well. So those two alone are hundreds of dollars cheaper than this one. And if you are thinking you're missing on that experience, just get a citrus fragrance, spray some Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue on top of Lavande, or some Dolce & Gabbana Light Blue on top of Thai matcha, and you will get the experience as well. But for the first 2 hours, that lime is kind of kicking up. It's a little sparkly. You do get that muskiness in there for sure. This does dry down throughout. Today it took me like about 6 hours to fully get to the dry down, and I kept getting this weird whiff of something, and it was pleasant. I did like the sillage it was kind of giving although it wasn't much. This goes to a skin scent for me maybe like 3 hours in, where you really have to put your nose up against it. And some people online said that as well, that it's just not long lasting, and that's, you know, it's a citrus based fragrance. So that's how they play out. But the musk dries down to just another laundry detergent dryer sheet fragrance. It seems to be a trend nowadays, and I think we're going to continue to see that. But for me, this is a miss. I was really looking forward to smelling this, and I'm glad I got to try it, but I will not be purchasing Coriandre 39 for those reasons, being that it's not original, and it feels like a Frankensteined the Labo creation of leftover materials that they borrowed from 3 different of their fragrances and just kind of slapped the name on it. But I don't know, if you've smelled it, let me know what you think. My cat just smelled it right there. If you are looking for another fragrance, oh, actually this is a good, spring fragrance, not fall at all or not winter at all, but this is a very spring summer fragrance. If you are looking for something like that will kind of scratch that itch, I mentioned a few options earlier, but I also do recommend checking out Debaser from Diaz & Durga. You can get this for really cheap on lots of places, and this will, outperform Coriandre. Diaz & Durga also has a coriander fragrance, but I don't remember what that smells like. But Debaser is a fig fragrance, dries down very beautifully with coconut milk and musk, so very similar profile, at least in dry down. You have this nice beautiful fig note there, but Debaser I do recommend even at retail. But yeah, I'll leave it at that. I don't want to keep going, but overall a little unimpressed. It is pleasant, it is nice, but there's other options even in their own line that you can get for way cheaper. So definitely not worth the price, at least not in my opinion, but feel free to make your own call on that. If you like it and you love it, buy it. I'm not going to stop you from that. So those are just my thoughts on that. But yeah, another laundry musk. Not groundbreaking at all.